Gotta take me a second because YouTube is a little bit slow sometimes to propagate the live stream, so give it just a minute since we're not using a start screen today. So just give this a second. It really is slow to propagate the live out to everybody, especially if they've already got it open. It's gonna take me a second. Oh, hold on a second. There. That should fix that upper left. Had the location on twice there. Alright, looks like we're doing good here, so should be good to go. Looks like the overlay is working there. It's some new stream graphics there up in the top left. Basically generating those on the server versus on the phone. Should be good to go, it looks like. That makes them a little easier to read. Finally got around to that, so we'll give it a few minutes here for everyone to join in. What's this guy doing? Or my first time driving. We got to give it a few minutes here because it takes about 5 minutes for people to actually get the notifications and join the stream. So just to eliminate repeating the entire first 5 minutes, we'll just kind of wait for everybody to join in here. We didn't use the start screen today, so what is this guy doing? Why do people drive like that? Like, clearly we can't go, like, so you're gonna go cut the semi off and cause, yep. Yeah, let's make the 80,000 pound truck slam on his brakes. That's a good idea. Jesus Christ, what's going on with people today? Some people's kids. Somebody became a member, whoever it was, thanks. Chat's going by real quick. So yeah, you're gonna notice some different stuff here on the stream over the next storm chase for sure, but we're going back to the roots. This is out of focus, isn't it? I'm trying to focus it so that it doesn't focus on the windshield chip. I got to get that chip filled. I'll do that tomorrow, but I'm trying to make it so it doesn't focus on the chip. Let's try that. See if that gets any better. But we're going back to the basics because I'll be honest with you guys, we're operating pretty in the, well, we're not in the red, but I'm spending a lot of money on the live stream, and it's not that, I'm just sick and tired of being financially limited. Like, I'm really sick and tired of it. Like, I want us to be at the point, and this goes into what I'm going to talk about, like, I want us to be at the point to say, yeah, if there's something we want to do, let's go do it. I am so sick and tired of being financially limited, and like the biggest financial limitation is this live stream. This live stream, like I said, costs like, what is it, like $3 and something an hour. So running it for like 8 hours is $24, which isn't much, but if you think about running it for 8 hours for 5 days in a row, or even just 5 days in a row in peak season, I mean, that stuff starts adding up really fast. It starts adding up to almost as much. I spend almost as much in running the stream as I do putting gas in the tank. So there's a couple of ways we're going to be getting around that. For streams like this, I'm no longer going to run the main server because there's no reason to run the main server that costs that much. All we got to do is put location on screen, and that's about it. And that's what we're doing. This cost me about 26 cents an hour. 26 cents an hour, who gives a crap, right? Might be a couple bucks. It's no big deal. So that's one thing. So when we're not actually chasing, we're not going to run all the graphics and all the information because there's just no need to do it. But yeah, so the super chat goal has been replaced for this month. Good question. Somebody noticed. So yeah, the super chat goal has been replaced for this month on the bottom there. And I say this with caution of upsetting the YouTube algorithm, but I don't care. Thanks, Jeremy. Probably not a Sonic. I don't think there's any up here. Sorry, that sucks. But I have replaced the super chat goal. Not that we don't. I mean, yeah, there's the super chat goal in the chat. That's auto-generated. Yeah, windshield chip. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm going to fill that chip myself. I've got a repair kit. I might stream it. But we've got the goal in the chat, which automatically generates itself for me when I start the stream. I have access to the API, and that's actually a bot that starts the goal in the chat. And I'm like, it's kind of redundant to have the super chat goal on screen. And a lot of folks have sent me emails like, you need a PayPal goal. I'm like, well, yeah. To me, I have no way. I wish that I could make the super chat and like the PayPal stuff just become one thing. So like no matter how you contribute, the goal just goes to the goal. I haven't figured that out yet, even though I have API access. I don't really have a PayPal API, which is ass. So I'm working on it. But what I've done is I've pinned, if you read that goal bar, you probably can see it says read the pin in the chat. So if you actually read the pin message in the chat, there's a link. And that'll take you out to a website, Streamlabs website. It's secure. We used to use it. It's what I used all the way up until 2024. Same site. So some of you guys might recognize it. You can use credit card, PayPal, or Venmo. And I'm not trying to advertise to give me money here. I'm just trying to explain what's going on. But when you use that website, it will fill up the goal bar. So we're going to go piece by piece to what we need. So basically, by March 1st, I need $21,000 worth of radio songs. And that's going to be part of the goal. And it's going to be an enormous goal. I'm going to contribute to it. The Project Weather Eye funding is separate than my funding. So I'm actually going to make a donation myself so we can fill up the bar. Basically just donate it to my own business kind of thing from my YouTube revenue. But YouTube takes fees out of super chats, which is understandable because they're the payment processor, but they keep 30%, which is okay because they got to keep the lights on and host our feed. But if you want to donate, or I shouldn't say donate, contribute, because I'm not a 501c. If you want to contribute to what we're doing and read a little bit about what the goal is for, you can click on that pinned link. So right now I think it's at $750. We're building 3 ground stations. So that's basically the cost per ground station. And once we fill up the goal bar, we'll go to number 2, and then we'll go to number 3, however long it takes, and we're going to start filling this up piece by piece. And if somebody contacts me, let's say we have a sponsor or something that wants to contribute outside of doing like this PayPal website, like for example, if Billy Bob's towing service at a gas station hands me $500 cash and says, here, put this toward that, I can manually go in and add it to that bar. So that bar's slow to update, but basically what we're getting at here is I wanted to go live and as I'm driving home here and kind of give you guys an update on the weather balloon project. I had a really nice phone call with our supplier of radio songs and talked to some of the most knowledgeable and nicest people I've talked to. And again, we're going to have a little bit of a video put out later this week introducing you guys to these companies a little bit here too. I'm just trying to be a little bit vague right now until I get a chance to put that together, because otherwise you get misinformation. But I talked to the radio sound company, and absolutely wonderful people, willing to work with us. They know that I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to burn, so they're willing to give us a little bit of I shouldn't say a break in the price, but they're willing to have us commit to a number of units because it might exceed inventory, and then ship and charge incrementally, meaning that with a 90-day lead time, which means I need to have an order in by January 1st, they're willing to help us out and ship them as they can produce them, which is awesome. I'm not one to really ask for flexibility when it comes to money, but I am definitely one that has no problem asking for flexibility with time and logistics, and that's what I can get, and I can appreciate that so much. Having just flexibility is wonderful. fantastic business. So I guess I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I've been really against advertising for ways to send us/me money, because I think it's really slimy to go on a YouTube stream and just make it constantly, send me a super chat, send me a super chat, send me a PayPal, send me a PayPal, I'm broke, I can't do this unless you PayPal me, I'm broke. Like, that's 90% of YouTube and Twitch anymore, and I can't stand that. But we want to go out here and change the world a little bit in a small way, and getting some real-time data out here is not only entertaining and fun, but it's also going to help. I've talked to, and again, this will be in the video because I'm working with, well, now there's government shutdowns, but it's so stupid. But I'm working with a public information officer that's going to help us put together something from basically a division or a large weather agency that can ingest this data, but they're working with me to put something together that meets like publication criteria of them and me and doesn't mislead anybody, kind of thing. So we're working on putting together a video together, but like, we want to get this data out to the public and make it accessible by anybody. So we're going to obviously offer that, as soon as we get a sounding, it's going to go up on the internet. It's going to be, hey, Weather Service, look, we did a sounding. Here you go. The Ice Chip Project did this last year, which was great. But I don't think they were able to do it as much as they wanted to because of like cost and stuff, which isn't their fault. You can only do so much. But I want to make this very clear. I'm a YouTube channel with 149,000 subscribers. We've got a team of, let's just say 20 people altogether. And we've made some connections with other small businesses that want to do what they can to help us do this. There's private and public agencies out there that do soundings and observe meteorological data, and they do a great job. But unfortunately, a lot of these agencies, whether public or private, are limited to what they can do because of their size or their protocols or their budget or whatever. And that doesn't mean that they're not good at what they do. There's always room for more data, and we need more data so badly. So badly. You know how many times back up we've been out on a storm chase, and I've been like, well, I don't know if we're going to get storms or not. Now I can tell you if we're going to get storms or not. If we have a sounding where we can launch a balloon and a radio sonde and get data, and we see, oh my God, there's a huge cap in place. Well, now we know we're not going to get those storms. If we launch it and there's no cap and it just looks nuclear, well, then we know, okay, we're probably getting storms. And now we can share that information. I'm a YouTube channel. I don't have a lot of money. This YouTube channel makes less than 100 grand a year. Actually, no. This YouTube channel brings in about 150 grand a year. And like 100 and something of that goes out in expenses. I'm very transparent with this. This is where your money goes. Vehicle repairs, oil, fuel, helping the people that help us, paying for people's hotels during deployments, paying for deployments, spending $40,000 or whatever on Project Weather. It all goes out the freaking window. And I'm not asking for more money, and I'm not trying to pity anybody. But the last time that I came out with a project like this, I was just scrutinized on Twitter saying that by these chasers saying I'm begging for money and all this. Meanwhile, you've got other chasers out there who literally are begging for money and not doing a goddamn thing with it other than showing you a cloud, which is fine. But I'm trying to explain, folks, that this is not me begging. This is me saying we can do this with our supporters. We just have to keep supporting. And I'm not saying that means you have to keep dumping me money, but what you can do is share our streams. When we start putting out information, share the information. When I put out this video later on to explain the mission and the addition to the project, please share it. You don't have to dump money toward us if you don't want to. But what you can do for free, and what we really desperately need right now, is getting the word out. this is going to be an incredible undertaking. Like, we are a very small business with a bunch of people that aren't making any money off of this other than what we do just by running a YouTube channel. We're not going to be making any money, not profiting anything. We just want to do this, and it also helps the public. So I am going to go out there, and the reason I'm saying this is so I can reference it if anybody tries to cancel us for quote-unquote begging for money. I want to make this very clear. We're trying to do a public service with research-grade, National Weather Service equivalent radio sondes and equipment, calibrated, proper data that could be used to verify, data that can be cited by scientists, data that is 100% as accurate as it's going to be, with the equipment to check the sonde before we launch it and make sure the sonde is basically giving us good data. Folks, we are not looking at holding up a thermometer out the window and posting on Facebook, it's 67 degrees out. We're launching scientific instruments into the sky with zero funding from taxpayers, zero funding from giant corporations like Fox or CNN or anything like that. However, if there are businesses that want to work with us and fund it, I mean, we'd be happy to. But I'm just saying, like, we are not the public face of a private closed door business. We are the public face of a very open business, which is ourselves. And we just think it would be really cool to launch weather balloons and have ground-based sensor networks and live cameras everywhere and be able to document the living hell out of a storm and make that information public for the sake of better research, better forecasting, better models in the future, forecast verification, as well as public safety and warning the public. That's what we want to do because we think it's cool. We're a bunch of people that don't want to work a day job. We don't want to sit behind a desk. No offense to anybody that does, we just don't want to. And we don't want to sit here and just drive around with a camera in the windshield. We want to take you guys with and do really cool shit. That's what we're going toward, and I want to take my 10-minute soapbox here and just be very, 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 very clear about what we're getting into and what we're doing and why, from this point forward, you're going to see a little bit more of a push from me when it comes, hey, this is how you can support us. This is how you can support our partners, you know, because it's not about us, it's about our partners too. We have fantastic business partners out here, and you're going to be able to meet them and learn more about a lot of these folks over the next coming months, especially this winter as we have time. We've got some fantastic people that support what we're doing and are not only, we have a laundry list of small businesses that have contributed, whether it's financial or, oh my God, she has got to stop talking so much. Whether it's financially or knowledge, because knowledge is just as valuable in something like this. Trust me. It's kind of sort of uncharted territory. I can't just go on YouTube and be like, hey, how the hell do we launch weather balloons and ingest it and display the data? It's not exactly easy. So it's about sharing and making it's almost like a little alliance, right? So like we've got Project Weather Eye, and then we've got SeeTheStorm.net, which is me. We've got Zach, we've got Aiden. At least those are our forward-facing or our public-facing YouTube channels so far. And then we've got our business partners out there who have their own businesses and do things with us, and we put them in it's almost like an alliance. We've got this little alliance of people that are all working toward one goal of just doing something they all love doing, but also benefiting the public. And I think that's what's really cool and really rewarding about what we do. So that's what we are, that's what we're doing, and that's our plan. Now, with that said, I just deleted a comment. Quit bitching and talk. You're not the person for this YouTube channel, Devin. Sorry, I'm not dealing. Nope, this is not. If you think this is bitching, then you are in the wrong place, buddy. Turn on TV and then you'll hear some bitching from news. So, the update. It's going to cost us about $20,000 to operate weather balloons just for the sondes in March, April, May. That's basically one sonde a day. Don't expect that. That's for 100 sondes. And the sonde is basically the little radio transmitter that has a thermometer, a hygrometer, pressure sensor on it. Yes, it does wind speed, but we have to calculate that because it's just drifting, it's floating. So we'll calculate that by using the GPS data. Point A to point B in what amount of time, and then you can average it out, and that's how you're going to get your wind speed, basically your wind vector, wherever it's at. So we're going to be able to do everything we need to do with these sondes. The ground stations, the ground stations are not a recurring cost, but let's just say like $2,500-ish to start up with ground stations. Ish. Which is not nearly as bad as I thought, because a commercial ground station might be anywhere between $3,500 and $7,500. And that's for one. And the reason I'm not a big fan of the commercial ground stations is it's a little bit harder to get the data out of them. With a homebrew ground station, which is what we're going to use with a very, very nice, high-quality SDR, software-defined receiver. And I'm going to put a notch filter. Somebody yesterday that does a lot with antennas suggested a notch filter. Fantastic idea. Use a notch filter to tune out everything but our frequency to eliminate interference. Excellent idea. We're going to do it. I'm going to build some or order some. I got to source them. I think Tesco's got them. Tunable notch filter. Not a big deal. Easy to make or buy, whatever. Really excited to get the ground stations put together. What's cool about the ground stations is we can actually receive the NOAA weather balloon data with them even. So that's that. It's ground stations. And then obviously we're going to have helium. So I'm going to get some tanks. I'm going to deal with air gas and get some tanks. We're going to make my truck and Zach's truck mobile launching points so we can go in the middle of a field somewhere and either truck can launch. We're going to equip Aiden's Buick with a ground station as well, a mobile ground station. The reason being, obviously both trucks will have a higher power, basically a more sensitive ground station with a larger antenna. We're going to just slap a small antenna and ground station on Aiden's Buick so that in the event of just a very high, high-speed wind shear day where you got very strong, like 60-knot freaking winds up there and it just takes it and it just goes. And it just sails. If this thing does end up getting 15, 20, 25, 30 miles downstream, which is not expected, but it could happen, maybe, and we really need that data, while we're still packing up, we've got another car that's capable of taking off after it. It's not going to have the range because it's going to be a smaller antenna, but being mobile, he could follow the track of it and basically be within a mile or two of it as it's going down the road and possibly recover it. Maybe. But this is going to be a big deal. We're going to have a lot of people involved. It's going to take 2 people to launch one. I mean, why are we tanking on signal right here? This is ridiculous. I wonder if Starlink's off. But basically, folks, we're a go, but it's going to be $20,000 roughly worth of radio sondes. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to get there, but we do have a good audience. And I think we're going to, if we can do good on YouTube here the next few months, I think we're going to do it. So I'm going to keep streaming every single day to try to drum up some pesos here. I'm going to get 10 of these ordered. It's going to cost about $2,000. I'm going to get about 10 of these ordered because I want to be able to start developing. And then I need to get a hold of air gas. Air gas, the helium's expensive, but it's not. It sounds like for the tank size we're going to do, it sounds like anywhere between 25 and 35 launches. And I'm not going to say it for certain, but I think that's only. It's not that expensive to get the damn tank filled, even though helium's expensive. So we're going to be. I'm really not even worried about the gas, guys. That's just a very minor expense. I'm not worried about that at all. I actually have I've got somebody that I know that's got an air gas account that does a large quantity of oxygen and acetylene, and it's very possible that I actually might even be able to get a discount if we get helium through them. So I think I'm not too worried about it. That's a minor, it's just a consumable. That doesn't sound legal. It's very legal. It's very legal. There's nothing illegal. In fact, a lot of hobbyists launch weather balloons just for their own hobby. So YouTube filter caught something. Fucking God, are you kidding me? Yeah, YouTube caught something. So no, this is not littering. So you have to understand, folks, like we're using biodegradable stuff where it's not littering. We're gonna try to retrieve these sonds because I think we can reuse them. I think we'd have to crack them open and replace the batteries. If there's alkaline batteries, lithium batteries are gonna freeze. But the thing is they might break on landing if they're fragile. I mean, I'm not going to count on reusing them, but I mean, I'm willing to make an effort here. I'm willing to make an effort here to run a retrieval mission on these. I mean, typically, like, unless it's just a crazy windy day, I mean, they're not going to go that far. I mean, they're going to go up and back down and obviously get blown around up there, but it's not like they're going to end up 200 miles downstream. So I'm pretty excited about this. Correct. So that's the comment about having a shipping label with the units, and then if they end up and someone finds it, correct. So we'll just put like a QR code and a website on them with like a label maker, you know, if found. And then we're just going to have a web form, you know, just say, hey, I found this, and then we can just send a UPS label. They're very, I mean, it basically would cost like probably $5 to ship it. Literally like next to nothing. I mean, they weigh nothing. So, yeah, absolutely. For sure, we'll be doing that. Then we just need to get a t-shirt company to donate shirts. Like if you find a radio sonde, you get a shirt. Then just mail them a shirt back. But I want to make this very clear, folks. Like all of the funding for this so far has come from external organizations to this business. I have not sunk any money into this because I can't right now. But we have had some really good people step up to the plate and say, let's do this. And we would not have had those contributions or those pledges and interests if we weren't doing this. It's not like we would have gotten those contributions if we weren't doing it. So I'm glad that I started talking about this a little bit on stream, because if I wouldn't have started talking about it, nobody would have known we had an interest in this. We wouldn't have been able to figure this stuff out. So I just kind of wanted to go live today and give an update on that, because I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, we are literally going to be able to help in a mass scale deliver real-time data to people that need it. And it's also entertaining too, right? Because I mean, who doesn't want to like launch a balloon? That's kind of cool, right? What is the biggest funding issue? Just in general, it's just so expensive to run this business. I mean, for example, like it costs me, and Beth, I know Beth asked that question. I know Beth gets it because she's been here forever. I guess like the best way for me to say like what our biggest issue is, I don't want to sell out my YouTube channel. I don't want to go work for CNN, or I don't want to go work for Weather Channel. I don't want to go work for somebody that's going to clip our wings. But that's really the only way to get any sort of substantial money out here. You know, if I went and go work for CNN or something as a weather reporter and get $50,000, well, that's $50,000 like I didn't have. I don't want to do that. So like, we're very limited with who we can work with, which means we kind of have to generate our own income here for everything almost. And we're not exactly sponsorship. A lot of people don't have interest in sponsorships for this because, for example, like, I don't know, a small mom and pop business that sells motor oil, you know, they're not going to want to sponsor us because we don't really have a target market in their area. Like, you know what I mean? So we have to really do everything ourselves. And I don't want to sell this YouTube channel out and just constantly be like, I think what gets views, you know, the only thing we can do is change and just get more views. But I think what gets more views is stupidity. And if we're out here acting stupid and doing stupid stuff, it would get views. But I don't want to take away from the science of what we're doing, because we wouldn't have the people that we have working with us if we acted stupid. So it's like, I'm not quite sure where the middle ground is, other than I think I just have to start telling people this is how you support us. Because I think that people are a lot more tolerant of listening to me talk for a few minutes every now and then about how to support us and what we're doing and why. I think they're more tolerant of that and understanding of that versus somebody just being like, I'm so broke, there's nothing to chase, and I need super chats. I don't know if that happens or not. I'm just saying it's like hypothetical. But it happens all the time on YouTube, and it doesn't even have anything to do with storm chasing. It's just streamers that are just like, it's just, you know, you go live and it's like, I need money, and it's like, okay, don't we all? Because it's so expensive to run this. I mean, hell, for me to get out, if I go out on a project mission or something, I mean, it might cost me $2,500 in fuel and expenses and stuff, and then we have to start thinking about adding other people, because this is where I get really, really frustrated, and this is why I don't talk to any of my family anymore, from like that I grew up with. You know, my mom, she fucked everything up a long time ago. My dad I'm not gonna, basically, like, I don't want to sit in a room, and I'm not saying that this is any of you guys, but I'm kind of explaining why I'm the way I am. I'm not gonna sit in a room with a bunch of people that talk to me like what I do is fucking stupid. And they were always the people that would see, let's say somebody wrote me I had this happen once. So I started doing emergency vehicle work on the side, like, you know, lights, sirens, all that crap, between jobs, and started doing it on my own. I had a local municipality, because I had insurance that did it, to do 2 cars, wrote me a check for $10,000. And I was excited about it. You know, I was 19 years old. I said to my mom, like, look at this, 10 grand, that's awesome. The first thing out of that fucking asshole's mouth was, oh, must be nice. Now you've got all this fucking money. No, and you know what? I didn't have all that money, because you know what? I had to spend $8,200 of it on equipment. I pocketed less than $2,000 on that. Like, some people don't understand a business, and those are the people that I just can't, I have such a hard time tolerating, where people will be like, you spent how much? Right, but if you don't spend money, you don't make money, and you have to go work at Walmart. And those are the people that typically get blocked from the chat, because you get that all the time, where it's like, you just got a $50 super chat. Oh my God, I can't believe that, and you're still complaining. And it's like, right, I got $50, and that's awesome. I'm very thankful for that. But we also just spent $1,000 in tires or something, you know what I mean? So like, for me to do this, my take-home pay is much different than the revenue this business makes. And I have to spend money to make it. For example, in order to have money to buy socks, I might have to spend money on equipment or something else that generates the money to buy my socks. And, you know, I'm kind of glad we got on this topic, because I see this a lot where people don't understand. And it's like these folks that want to be closed-minded, where they don't understand that you can make, you could have a business that has 100,000 or 100, no, let's just say $1 million. You could have a business that has $1 million deposited into its bank account between January 1st and December 31st. But it might have taken $950,000 to run that business. That means that business only made $50,000. And I think a lot of people see these super chat goals or PayPal goals and all that stuff, and they're like, oh my God, this person's rich. No. When you are the business, you are the funding, that's not your take home, that's your business. And I think that's why, just a long drawn out answer that Beth didn't need it explained, because she's been around a while. Maybe some of the others listening did, but you really, I shouldn't say you, but it's just in general, it's important to remember that what I'm trying to do out here is something I'm very passionate about, and I'm trying to make it so that some other really good friends of mine can also benefit from this. I don't have the money to put some of these really good people that work with us on a payroll. I mean, other than when we do a deployment, but that's technically not my money. It's a long story. But I would love to be able to say, hey, I now have more money to take care of myself and my household. Now let's share that. And I want to get to that point. But to get to that point, we have to start doing some really good shit. And what's been awesome is the people that support us and work with us with the project have put so much time and effort into it at their own expense. It really goes to show that there still are people out there that understand how startups work, because a startup business is not fun, it's not easy, and it's not meant to be. It's stress. And while we're not really a for-profit, we're not a non-profit. I am not looking to burn every dollar that I make to balance it out so we can call it a 501. I think 501c3s are a scam. I think it's ridiculous, because you've got like Red Cross, or these other businesses that are 501cs, and they pay their CEO $700,000 to $800,000 a year. Now I understand it's a successful company. There's a lot of work, and you should be paid well for your work. But you're talking about having all these volunteers and stuff that make zero. Like, it's very unbalanced. That's why I don't like 501s. Not necessarily all 501c3s, but I don't want to be one. I want to be able to say, all right, let's fund our projects, and then we can talk about funding our people, and then let's find a balance between the project and the people. And we're getting there. I'm honestly hoping to really get things pulled together this year. But it's just, you guys wouldn't, and this is a topic a lot of people like to talk about, so we'll go on this for a second. You guys would not believe the amount of costs that I'm looking at for 2026 to run our severe weather field missions. We're easily looking at, well, if you don't factor in SONs, but I'm going to factor them in anyway, and I'm going to talk about this in a 3-week period, or a 3-month period with the SON. 20 grand for the SONs, and then we've got, but you have to remember that 20 grand might yield us 30 grand in return. Maybe so many people will find that interesting that it'll make us 30 grand back in revenue, and then we can say, hey, that's $10,000 for the next one. It just might, and that's, not the goal, but it just might. You have to put in to take out. Now, the costs for what we're going to be doing, we're easily going to be looking at, with fuel, and I'm going to say costs for everybody. These are not costs that are for Project Weather. This is just the cost that everybody might have to collectively spend. Now, granted, anybody that's part of the project knows that, there's costs that they're responsible for and costs that they're not. It's not the point. It's just the collective amount of money that's going out that has anything to do with this project. It very easily could be $70,000 to $80,000. And that's because of data, cellular data, equipment, hotels, fuel, SONs. It is an enormous expense to go out and do a mission like this. That's why when you see like the NSSL folks out there that do like they did Ice Chip or whatever the hell that was last year, and then you get the university out there with the Dow. That's why it costs them hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to do some sort of deployment, because these costs add up exponentially fast. It is ridiculous how fast they add up to do something like this. But this is something that I see this project as very valuable, because not only are we going to be doing, because we were, the whole plan was, okay, a ground-based network. We've got our camera network, which is important. Camera network, and then we've got our sensors. And then we're also going to be able to do soundings. And we're literally getting a full data set, plus our chasers, right? So we can actually get in there and actually get some really good video to document what's going on. So I'm pretty excited here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, like Aiden said, cellular data is expensive, extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. It's not, I know a lot of people are like, well, I get unlimited for $80 a month. Okay, well, we don't get unlimited for $80 a month. You get unlimited for $80 a month on one smartphone. We don't have smartphones. We have devices. Devices don't get unlimited plans. We're paying per gigabyte. And it's what, $3, $4, $5 a gigabyte? It's enormous. It's incredible how cellular data got expensive. Your business first year grossed $1 million, but your take home was $35. Exactly. Well, Bill, the problem with that is that so many of these people, they want to own it. Like I had another freaking YouTuber, after I was talking about this, send me a damn email telling me that they wanted to basically buy what I'm doing, and then I work for them. And it's like, no, I didn't work my ass off to work for some freaking YouTuber. Like, no. That's the problem. A lot of donors and contributors want to own it. And I'm not saying, like, if you have investors or donors or whatever, I have absolutely no problem with them having a say in something. Like, be like, hey, I'm really interested in doing this. Do you think if I funded it, we could do this? That's one thing. But these people that are just like, I want my name on it, I want my channel on it, and you can just run it. It's like, no. That means you can fire me, and I'm not going to build something like this and then get fired for it. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, this ain't Shark Tank. However, if I win the lottery or the Powerball or something, I would happily, But I long for the day where we can talk about these kind of things and talk about money and not have people that don't really have any money for whatever reason, whether that's their own fault, like bad spending, or they just don't have an opportunity for it, which isn't their fault, coming into the chat or coming into the reviews acting as if because they don't have money that other people shouldn't be allowed to go out and pioneer in an industry. Like, it's just, I've deleted so many comments out of this, or the YouTube filter has actually caught some. I don't know if the mods have had to, but the YouTube filter has caught a lot of those. And it's just sad. Because not everybody, there's different reasons people cannot have any money. Like, I don't really have any money. But you cannot have any money because you made mistakes, intentional or unintentional. You might not have any money because, I don't know, maybe you got sick and didn't have health insurance. I don't know. Maybe you got in a car crash and got shafted because insurance sucked. Or maybe someone had a gambling problem and it's their own fault. Or just maybe somebody wasn't given the opportunity. Maybe somebody had a rough start and just wasn't given an opportunity yet. But I'm convinced that people, and I used to be this person. I absolutely used to be this person that would be like, see somebody with a good job and they'd be excited and maybe post on Facebook, like, I just got $100,000 a year job, and it'd be like, wow, that must be fucking nice. Like, F you, give some to someone else. Absolutely not. Like, if you can go earn that and do something with that, then do it. And you also don't know, is that $100,000 a year for somebody from someone else where they're sitting at a desk, or is that $100,000 for their own damn business that's costing them $80,000 to run? You know, and it's like, I think anybody, I have not gotten to this point yet, so not one to talk, but I think anybody can get to the point where they can put some decent money in the bank. They just had to figure out a way to do it, because I think everybody's got their own challenges. I mean, I have my own, you know, my household has its own, you know. For example, one stupid expense that I have to deal with that, you know, that sucks is the enormous amount of heating that, you know, we go through so much money in heating, and it's just because of we live in an area where there's no natural gas, you know, and there's no public utility hookup. And, you know, I got thinking the other day, and it's like, oh my God, you know, what if somebody had to pay this bill and they were making a minimum wage job, and let's say they were making like $28,000 a year before taxes, and what if they had to foot that bill? It's like that, damn, that would be almost a fourth of the a sixth of the income. And it's like the amount that groceries has gone up, the amount that, well, gas has come down some, but the amount that cars, groceries, utilities have gone up over the past few years, it is so exponentially harder for people to make any sort of money, because what used to be good money 5 years ago, I mean, it's still good money. You know, it's not like the value of the hard work has gone down, but it doesn't get you squat. You go and you buy milk, eggs, and some cereal at Walmart. Next thing you know, you're walking out of there with $120. We've gone in to buy groceries at Walmart, and we've got like six things on the list. And you think about it, it's like, oh, that's probably only like $30 worth of groceries. And then you go to check out, and those six things end up being $120 freaking dollars. You know, because you can't buy a hamburger anymore unless you want to spend a crap ton of money. You know, your milk ain't $1.50 anymore. You know, your eggs are $3, $4. And, you know, that's not a huge deal at the end of the day. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not. But for some people, it's definitely a proportionally huge deal. For some people, it's more than it is. But it's just so hard for anybody to do anything these days, because everybody's feeling the effects. And when you start feeling the effect on these essentials, then it's just going to get worse and worse for everybody else up the chain. You know, because now with inflation and everything, employers, to get people to not quit, are having to pay more. But as they're paying more, it's almost like the value of the dollar goes down. It's that whole thing, like, you raise minimum wage, and now $15 is the new $8. And it's not necessarily the employer's fault, folks. It's the whole economy's after right now, and it causes other things to get more expensive, because yes, the employer has to pay more, but then the employer has to charge more for their good or service. It might take a minute to catch up. There's a lag. Oh, they're picking, is that potato? No, that's corn. No, those are potatoes. Son of a gun. Are they? I don't know what that is. It looked like potatoes, whatever. But the amount of, like, inflation and all this other stuff has made everything go up. You know, it's unfortunate that this is kind of what we're in today, but it is what it is. And I guess the moral of the story is, like, we have to deal with that out here too, because a lot of the stuff that I need and I use has been inflated. One of the biggest things used to be fuel. All right, I'm done listening to that. Is the, I don't know if the Oh yeah, it is. Okay, I thought the location wasn't updating, but it's updating. I thought it wasn't. We're good. One month for, oh, really? Yeah, so what I'm doing right now for the chat, I have the YouTube app open on the iPad, but I just have the chat full screen. But I still get, apparently you get ads in the chat now. And it said something about you have a free month of Starlink. And I thought it was like a for some reason I thought it was like a notification from the Starlink app. And it's like, oh, I get a free month of Starlink? Nope, it was an ad. I'm like, God dang it. I tell you, that's another thing that's gone up is Starlink. You know, I think I used to pay $90 a month for that. And now it's up to $120, which, you know, doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But when you look at it compared to the cost of other internet services, it's really expensive. Starlink on the truck is $165. I mean, it's good internet. You get what you pay for, but it's just... Even services like internet has gone up. Yeah, well, yeah, perfect example. YouTube Premium has gone up. What is that, like 20 bucks now? 19 bucks, 18? I don't have it. You know, I was gonna get it, but it's like, I got thinking about it, like, if that's damn near 20 bucks a month, like that's $240 a year, which, okay, whatever. But it's like, wait a minute, this used to be like $120 a year, because I thought at one point YouTube Premium was like $90 or $9.99. Wasn't it like 5-6 years ago when it came out, like $9.99? And it's like, when's it gonna stop? So like, I'm just like, I'll just deal with the ads. I personally think, and if anybody from YouTube is watching, I personally think that if you're a monetized YouTube channel, I think you should get YouTube Premium. Like, I think that that's what you, like, I should get that. Like, if you're a YouTube channel and you have ads and stuff and you're monetized, I feel like you should get a benefit of, like, YouTube Premium. Which is dumb. I like, even on my own stream, like I can't even monitor my own stream without the stupid ad coming up. On my own stream. It's just like Netflix, because isn't Netflix like 25 bucks now? I remember when that thing came out like 15 years ago when you used to get the DVD in the mail. Wasn't it like $9.99 a month and then you paid like $1 a DVD or something? I mean, just the cost of these electronic services is incredible. Because, you know, they're all things that sound like not a big deal on their own, but then you start putting it together and it's like, oh yeah, YouTube Premium, that's what, $19 a month or something. And you're like, yeah, that's not a big deal. But then you start realizing you need, you know, 10 other things at $19 a month. And now it's like, oh my God, like where do you cut it up? You know, which ones do you cut out? For example, Adobe. Adobe is subscription based now, which I get that it kind of has to be because they're always updating, like I get it. Especially with phone apps, but Adobe's subscription based. I have to have Adobe. I cannot run my business without Adobe. It's not possible. There's no other option to do what I need to do with the cloud and all that. You know, that ends up being like, what, $40 or whatever for the all-in? I used to be able to pirate that off of Pirate Bay for nothing. And that's a joke for legal purposes, but I mean, it's true. You used to be able to get that off of the Pirate Bay for nothing. Might get a virus, but you can still get it. But there's the stupid TikTok video editor, that CapCut thing. I have to have it. It is the only video editor that works on my phone that gives me basically any sort of color grading and audio options. I'm not talking about filters or anything like that, but like actual like color grading, and I can get audio options in it all in one. And do multiple tracks. There is nothing else. So Adobe Premiere Rush used to be available for $4.99 a month, and I think it still is. And it was like a watered down version of Adobe Premiere Pro, and it ran on your phone. It was great. It doesn't work anymore properly. It does not work on my iPhone properly. It has all sorts of issues. It crashes. It won't accept like HDR, because I shoot HDR. So like it doesn't seem to play nice with HDR. It just crashes. I don't know why, and I've tried it on multiple iPhones. It has issues now. They broke it. Something's wrong with it. And the CapCut will do HDR. And that's $20 a month. $20 a month. But I have no way around it. I don't have any single way around it. It's like there's nothing I can do. Because I can't have this business without being able to put pieces of video and stuff together. It's crazy. And then you start thinking about like other subscriptions. Like Spotify is what, $12 now? $10, $12? You know, which is whatever. And then satellite, Sirius XM, that's $20-ish now. I don't pay for it, so every 3 months I get a new free trial of Sirius XM. And somebody's going to be like, that's really shady. And you know what? Maybe it is, but every 3 months I just sign up for a new trial with a different email. so I don't have to pay for that one no more. That one I just get a trial for that, but it's dumb stuff, and then it costs me $50 a month with Squarespace to run the website, and then it costs me $50 a month with Teespring to host the store. Just Twitter, if you want to be on Twitter without ads, you got to pay $14 or whatever, or $11, whatever it is now. It's like the subscriptions, I get it. I totally, fully understand why we've gone kind of subscription-based. But, oh my God, just everything's a subscription anymore. It's just nuts. Alright, I think that was the last of the construction. Like 57 is just nothing but construction in Illinois from that point farther south. Really slows you down if you're driving south. North isn't so bad, but like when I was driving south, was that last Friday? It was really bad. I mean, it's a lot of truck traffic, and with those like narrow lanes, everybody had to slow way down to the point where you're doing 25, 30. It takes forever. yeah, I will fill that crack in the, or chip in the windshield, and hopefully we can focus it out then. I hope it's nice out. I haven't even looked at the temperature. I'm afraid to. Oh, it's 84. I think it is supposed to be, I'm not for certain, but I think it is supposed to be hot this week. I hope. I mean, I will gladly take 80-something degrees over 50, especially this time of year. Because we're getting into that point where we're going into the cold season, and every little bit of warm weather that we get is like one less day of cold weather that we could have, so. Yeah, I don't even know what to think. I mean, we're not going to have any tropical activity here for a few days, or probably a week, probably 2. I don't know. There's nothing of concern. I don't even know about severe. It's possible we have a couple of days off for severe. There might be something this weekend, though. I don't know if there is. I probably need to make sure that I'm on it, because it might be very limited after that. I don't have much of an opinion right now. We just need to let the pattern kind of reset here. Yeah, hopefully by tomorrow we have a little better idea with what's going on. But I think, you know, even looking at the SPC website, it looks a little bit dead. For the next few days, but, you know, there's no reason to trust really any forecast beyond a few days right now because everything's just been so screwed up with our, you know, any sort of confidence in anything. I mean, hell, we thought we had a hurricane hitting Charleston, and then it turns out it just drove itself to Bermuda instead. So it just kind of reminds us all that maybe it's best to not look too far out ahead of time right now. I mean, there will be things to do. I mean, hell, we're not going to be far off from dealing with snow. It's not going to be long, and then we're going to have snow. It's really dusty out. It looks like they're picking beans and corn everywhere. Yeah, it just sucks that we're back at that time of the year already where everything's like just a dirt field. I don't know where the year went. I think the year was all screwed up because of how busy, at least felt screwed up because of how busy it was there in the beginning. That was the busiest, like, late April through early June that I've ever had. I mean, it's always busy that time of the year, but it was just exception. It was like twice as busy as it normally was. Seems kind of dry up here. I've been gone for a week. I don't know if it rained. Well, actually less than a week. I don't know, I'm looking forward to getting all this crap out of the truck though. Like I said, I'm still driving around with 1,000 pounds of weight in this thing. I'm kind of sick of it. It's really not doing me any favors with fuel mileage. I'm down to 17.7. And I'm normally at like 19 to 19.5, and I'm noticing that. You get about 50 miles less a tank. To be expected, though. But the good news is, if we do get a hurricane or a tropical storm after this, which we might, all of our devices are fully charged, and they're not going to discharge. So they're fully charged. So I don't have to go through that anymore. I don't have to go through and check them all. Because there's a lot of devices to go check. I mean, like, charging them is quite the project. Even with the fast charger, it only takes about 6 hours to charge a device. But when you've got dozens of them, it's a big ordeal. It's a lot of moving devices around. thought I was way farther north than I just looked over at the map and it's like, you've got to be kidding me. I don't know why, but it seems like it's taking forever today to get down the damn road. Like, I don't even know what the hell time I'm gonna get home because the GPS has changed its ETA by like 4 times now, and I'm not sure why. It's been a long time since I've driven home this way. I kind of forgot how long. But, I mean, I stayed in basically far southern Illinois last night. I really wanted to get home last night. For some reason, I was all messed up on my time though. It got late. It was basically later than I thought it was. So I knew it was like 8 hours home when I stopped because I started in Valdosta. I knew it was like 8 hours home from Tennessee. And I'm like, well, it's not a big deal. I'm like, worst case scenario, I'm home by like 2 a.m. But, you know, I was thinking it was like 6 o'clock in the evening, and then I looked at the time, I'm like, oh my God, it's almost 9 o'clock. That's not going to work. I mean, I wasn't going to drive until 5:30 in the morning. I would not have made it. Definitely would not have made it. Because when I got to the hotel, that was as far as I could drive. For some reason, I was very tired, but... I left too late. For some reason, I calculated it wrong, though. Like, when I left Valdosta, I should have left Valdosta at 8 in the morning. Instead, I left at 11. So, if I would have left 3 hours earlier like I initially planned, I think that's where I screwed up. Like, I still had it in the mindset that I left in the morning, but I didn't. I left at about 11 o'clock. Or no, well, it was 11 o'clock Central. It was noon Eastern. So it was noon Eastern when I left. So basically I left at lunch, which was 4 hours too late. Oh no, more construction. All right, great. Seems like they've been constructing on this road for years, and I've yet to see anything change. I'm not quite sure what they're doing here. Yeah, it looks like it would be cold out. I don't know why, but to me it just looks cold out. But I think it's like 80 something is what it said when I looked.
In 2 miles, take exit 237B for I-74 west toward Peoria.
Alright, we take this exit up here. And I need windshield washer fluid again. Have you guys seen the price of windshield washer fluid? Used to be you could get that stuff for like $1.50. Now it's like $4 or $5 for a gallon of water, basically. Need to look up and see what's in windshield washer fluid. If it's just like alcohol and water, I mean, I could make that myself a lot cheaper.
Continue for half a mile. In a quarter mile, merge onto I-74.
Yeah, let's be happy to get past Bloomington up here because just this area of the traffic gets really congested with this construction. I just hate being in it. You know, I say this a lot, but I really prefer driving out farther west where you don't have to deal with this. Like, there just isn't traffic like this. It's very rare, you know. Even just a 2-lane interstate, like, there'll be some cars here and there, but it's not like this. think this is the last of the construction. I think that was it. I hope. I really don't like going this way. I think the better way to go... God damn, this guy over here behind me about pushed me off the road. I think the better way to go is, even though it looks like it's out of the way and Google Maps says it's out of the way, I still think the more efficient routes are actually up through Indianapolis. The problem is you got Chicago then. Alternatively, go over to cross over the river and then go up to St. Louis in Missouri and then up Illinois. It says it's like 45 minutes longer, but I actually think it's shorter because of the construction and all this stuff on 57. So, although like on paper it's longer, I don't think it actually is. I'm convinced that Illinois might be one of the most boring drives. For some reason, I think it's just the way that the interstates are laid out compared to the cities, but it just seems like you drive forever and you don't really go anywhere. If you're out in Kansas or Texas or something out there, like you can tell that you're getting somewhere, but I feel like out here, because nothing's really in a straight line, it just seems like it takes forever. Anyway, yeah, I don't think there's anything going on. That Imelda is actually a Category 2 storm now. It's way out there. Is it past? No, it's gonna hit Bermuda like head on. I wish we were in Bermuda. Yeah, it's gonna go right over Bermuda and then go do whatever. But that's definitely not what we expected it to do. Still can't believe we thought that was going to hit us. And it definitely did not. That's okay. It's basically been a 1-week detour here. Yeah, there is another area of potential tropical development out there in the central Atlantic. That wave that's going to come off of Africa, or maybe already has. I haven't paid much attention. But that's way out there by well, the middle of the ocean. So, I mean, that's got such a long ways to go that we can't say with any confidence or certainty what that's going to do. I mean, maybe if it could slip into the Caribbean, maybe it could be a United States problem, but chances are, usually, this time of the year, if anything happens out there, usually it just goes out to sea. Not all the time. It's definitely not set in stone. So I don't know if that's going to end up being a problem for us or not. Probably not. If I were to guess. That doesn't mean that something else might not happen though. We could still get something that pops up somewhere else, maybe closer, but I have zero confidence in any long-range modeling right now. Like I said, there is a potential that maybe this weekend, it's pretty slim, but there's a potential that maybe we'll have something in the severe weather department this weekend, which we'll probably want to prioritize and go for, because just in case if it is slow the rest of the month, we're going to need to be out at least a couple of times here in the beginning to even that out some. Because this is October is one of those months where it can honestly go either way. It can be busy, and you can have a bunch of severe weather out in the plains, or it can be just dead as a post, and you might find something once or twice a week, and that's it. Well, usually once we get to Bloomington, going up 39 to Rockford's usually not as congested. I think we probably got a half an hour until we get on 39 though. Because this is what I'm talking about. Like, it seems like this is driving through Illinois. We're driving 61 in a 70 because this guy on the left, I don't know what he's doing. But you just get a lot of that. There's just too many cars for the amount of road. Like, I say this all the time, and I really mean it. I know the interstates were built many years, 50 years ago, when maybe it wasn't obvious there would be this much traffic, but holy smokes, every single interstate should have been 3 lanes on each side, at least. Should have just been standard. Yeah, it looks like fall out now. I know the leaves haven't turned color, but it looks like fall. Yeah, I think that Humberto storm is done. Good question. Yeah, I think so. Now it's just Imelda or whatever. I'm glad to get rid of that Imelda storm or whatever because I keep forgetting its name. So I'm glad that thing's out of here because every time I did a live stream, I had to Google its name real quick. So I couldn't remember what it was. That's why I kept quick calling it by its name. It's like, honestly, for some reason, it's like a mental block. I just can't remember that name. I don't know why. You guys got to go on my TikTok page and see all the trash I've been reposting. It's not so. There's this kid on TikTok that does these RFK impressions, and anybody out there who says I'm too far right wing for them, I would encourage you to go watch those because they're funny. But just a reminder that it's okay to sit in the middle with your political beliefs, and it's okay to make fun of both sides because both sides, in fact, are a huge joke. They both are huge jokes. So if you go to my TikTok page, I really don't know how TikTok works, but if you go to my page, I think you can click on the little like repost. It's like looks like a little share icon. Or like a little like arrows. I think if you click on that, you'll find them. So that's something I should bring up because they're freaking hilarious. They're pretty good. I've been reposting a lot of trash. Usually it's trash that's been sent to me that I repost, but. If I can pull up my TikTok page on my tablet, I would absolutely play one of this guy's. All right, you guys want me to? Is anybody? Are you guys gonna get offended? And is anybody gonna go cry on Twitter because I played something political? Let me see if I can open this on my tablet. I don't think I can. Oh, I actually, no, but I think I can. All right. So this is pretty good. I don't know if this is actually gonna like play to where you'll be able to hear it, but this kid is hilarious. You need to go follow this kid. I don't know how to make my tablet play, but all right. So, oh yeah, so he's doing an RFK impression, and they're talking about beating the shit out of kids with snakes.
A lot of people have snake fences to keep the snakes out, but we have snake fences to keep the snakes in. How are we keeping the snakes in?
Or when the house gets ding-dong ditched, and I'll grab 2 snakes, and I'll use them like snake chucks, and then I'll beat the hell out of these kids if I can catch them. I think, oh my God, I think there's a kid here now. Hold on, be quiet. I've also learned that a couple days ago, these 2 kids ding-dong ditched the house, and I chased them for 4 miles. And I was barefoot, and they were on their bicycles. And I kept chasing them, and they just... When I finally got... Oh my God, there's a snake in the house. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Anyway, I chased these kids. When I finally got a hold of one of them, I beat the hell out of him. And I realized I can't be using my fist. So if this happens again, I need to use snakes. And I'll just beat them with snakes. But I won't let the snakes bite. I don't want to get in trouble.
A lot of people.
There's one about the Fruit Loops. And he's talking about taking all the dye out of the Fruit Loops, and they're just going to be called loops. It's fucking awesome. You guys got to go find this kid. Oh my God, it's freaking hilarious. Oh my God. And I know somebody out there is like, how dare you? Like, who cares? Like, oh my God. Yeah, that's like, this kid's got like 100 of these. He's got like 100 of these on his TikTok page too. Like, he just keeps posting them. It's freaking hilarious. And I don't care if you voted for this or didn't. It doesn't matter. It's still funny. And if you get offended over a little bit of fun being poked at politicians, you might be a little bit too sensitive to vote. Because I'm sorry, some of the JD Vance memes are pretty funny. I can tell you one thing, folks, if you want to talk politics for a minute, there's one thing that everybody can agree with, is that no matter what side of the political spectrum you sit on or who you voted for, everybody can agree that there's been some top-notch social media content produced around this current administration. I mean, it's been hilarious. It's been a lot of good content from it. Oh yeah, hit the brakes like you're not already driving under the speed limit. You shouldn't make fun of how someone talks. Dude, nobody's making fun of how he talks. We're making fun of the fact that this guy's like weird. There's a huge difference, man. Huge difference. Like, maybe you need a hobby. Well, maybe this is your hobby. Maybe like crying about stuff in people's YouTube chat is your hobby. In that case, you're succeeding. Yeah, Illinois is flat. It does look like Nebraska. But yeah, like central Illinois is quite flat. It's actually good storm chasing terrain out here. It actually, to me, it looks a lot like central Kansas. All the corn and stuff, but. What's going on? Is people broke down all over the side of the road, pulled over, flat tires? Like, what the heck's going on here? It's a nice day out though, at least. Yeah, first day of October. I kind of forgot about that. I didn't realize it was the first of the month until like a couple hours ago.
There are police reported ahead.
But yeah, who would have thought that that storm was actually going to make a turn for Bermuda? Well, we're almost on. We're like 7 minutes short of 2 hours. That's kind of been the goal, to just do 2 hours a day when driving. I don't know. Alright, so we'll be getting on 39 in like, what, 5 miles? Maybe something like that. I don't know. We kind of go around town here. This is Bloomington. And then it's not such a bad drive. I'm just tired of driving. I mean, I feel like I've been all over. I kind of have. $27.75 for the miles, and I'm sure it's going to be about 3,000 miles by the time I get home. Traffic's not stopped up here. I see a lot of brake lights. It's usually not a good sign. If I want to stop for gas here or if I want to go up the road. It's usually a little more expensive here. I probably should have got it back there a ways. God dang it, I wasn't thinking. Yeah, it's 305. It was like 280 something back there. Jesus Christ, dude, pick a lane. This guy, that brown Toyota that just passed us on the left there about frickin' sideswiped me. Like, what are you doing? decide if we're getting gas or not. Definitely not going to make it home when it says 80 miles left in the tank.
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 164 for I-39, US 51 North, Fort Rockaway. Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 164.
Well, to go to Love's, I would have had to go straight, so I guess we're not going to that one. I think there's one just up the road. There's something not far up the road. I don't remember what it is, but we'll just go there. Yeah, there's that Love's over there, but usually getting gas here in this town is more expensive than up the road. Illinois is really hit or miss like that. Like, you've got a wide range of gas prices. Some of these populated areas are like 40 cents more than the other ones. Well, that's the last exit we got to take for like 120 miles. Still can't believe it's taken this long to drive. I mean, Illinois, you don't realize when you look at it on the map, but it takes forever to drive from Illinois from north to south. A lot of miles. We'll stay here until I find fuel, I guess. Now everybody's just dying to see what the gas price is. Looks like leaves might be barely starting to turn colors. Barely. Out of washer fluid. Well, that sucks. Not buying it at the Love's, I can tell you what. Don't buy it from the gas station. It works at Love's. It's like $6.49. It's ridiculous. Oh, I don't think we got too much farther to go. I think it's like maybe 20 miles up the road. stop in one of these smaller towns, but I guarantee you the gas is going to be like 40 cents more expensive. Seems like how it is out here. It's quite a ways up the road. It's another half hour. I didn't realize it was that far up the road. I think it's up in Peru. I thought it was closer to Bloomington. I have no idea what the thing on top of this guy's car says. Oh, it's like a driving school. I thought it was some weird, like, political thing. Or the pizza guy. The kid looks terrified. But yeah, we probably won't know what's coming up here for a few days. The CSU doesn't really... It has something in North Dakota on day 3. I don't know what that's even about. Something in South Dakota on day 4, and then after that, really nothing. But this time of the year, like I said, you can't... You really can't count on anything beyond just a few days out, because one of the limiting factors we often have is moisture. And sometimes the moisture return is better than the models say. You know, I've seen it a lot where it looks like there's not going to be much for moisture return, and then you end up with sufficient moisture return and you do get severe weather. So you got to be a little bit extra cautious with the models, you know, before you write things off. Temperature still says 80, so, but I think it looks like it's cold out. I don't know why. Well, folks, this will be the last live stream from the, I guess, the mission, if you want to call it that. And 1 week ago, made the decision to go down there for that storm, and that didn't happen. And that was last Wednesday. I was getting home right about now, getting things ready, and then Thursday packed up, and Friday left real early. So you know that something went wrong when, you know, we had a tropical something that, well, didn't, but we were supposed to, and it's 5 days later and we're on the way home. You know something's messed up. But there may or may not be more tropical stuff this year. I'm kind of leaning toward there probably will be. I mean, shit, we've got 6 weeks left, so. Chances of something happening, I guess, probably. Can't promise anything. I can't say confidently either way. Yeah, last October was pretty boring, but we did have things to do. It wasn't like it was a total wash, especially toward the end of the month. I know that's when I really got busy, was the end of the month. So we had a couple of those severe weather days down there in like East Oklahoma, West Arkansas. I think we were in Mississippi once or something. I know we were in, I think we were in Texas too. Yeah, we were in Texas as well. That might have been the first week in November, but either way, same time frame. I would have to look at the map to tell you, but I'll look at the map. I don't need the map, I know where I'm going. Talked about this a couple streams ago. Let's see. Internet's very slow here for some reason. Well, hold on. September 20th. Oh man, we had a whole whole deal of something. Left home on September 16th of last year. Looks like we went out to North Platte. Looks like we had a chase in eastern Colorado on the 17th. Looks like I left North Platte and then ended the day in Colby, Kansas at the Hampton Inn. You know what? I remember that day because it's the only other time I stayed at that Hampton Inn in Colby since, well, last year. So I actually remember that day. Yeah, I sure do. Because then on the 18th, drove out to Montrose, or not Montrose, Gunnison, Colorado. Then on Thursday the 19th of September of last year, we were in the mountains, and then I drove to Lamar. Friday the 20th, looks like we chased in Clovis. No, looks like I just drove down. Drove down to Clovis. Saturday, September 21st, it looks like we had some sort of a chase out by Clovis. I think I remember that day. If I remember right, it wasn't that great, but it was something. Looks like ended the day down there by Abilene somewhere. Maybe that's Post? No, Snyder. And then drove all the way to Birmingham the next day. On Sunday the 22nd. On Monday the 23rd, I drove from Birmingham or Tuscaloosa, whatever it was, to Canton, Georgia. So, yep, that would have been tropical something. Yep, and then Tuesday, September 24th, we drove down to, looks like Perry. So, yeah, this was definitely a hurricane. 25th and 26th. And 27th looks like tropical operations. 28th of September looks like the last day of tropical stuff. This must have been Helene, because on the 29th it looks like I drove to Asheville, North Carolina. Yep, this must have been Helene. Then on the 30th I went home. On the October 3rd, it looks like I went down to Knoxville, so that was wrapping up the Helene operation. 4th, 5th, went down there. 6th. Something must have had, yeah, October 7th, went back down to Florida. October 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th were hurricane operations, it looks like. October 12th, went home. Looks like October 28th. Yep, October 28th, I went to Des Moines. I remember this night. That was October 29th. Went to Kansas. Continued the drive on October 30th. That looks like it was a chase in Oklahoma. October 31st, that was a terrible day. Looks like Halloween, that was the El Reno day where we just sat there because something was supposed to happen, but it never did. Friday, November 1st, looks like we went down to Midland and had a chase down there in West Texas, down by Fort Stockton on the 2nd. And on the 3rd, drove back up toward McAllister, Oklahoma. November 4th, we had a chase in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. On November 5th, drove out to Lyman. So drove from Joplin to Lyman. Some of you guys remember this. November 6th was the Lyman snow disaster. And drove down to Trinidad that night. Walsenburg, whatever the hell it was. Trinidad, I think. Yeah, Trinidad. November 7th was the blizzard in Trinidad. November 8th was still the blizzard in Trinidad. November 9th was the ending of the blizzard in Trinidad, but drove all the way up to Colorado Springs, and then to Lyman, and then to, looks like Salina, Kansas that night. It was heading home, and then it looks like I went home on the 10th, and then that's about as far as I feel like going right now. So it just goes to show that, you know, last October and November were actually pretty active. So we'll see if it is this year. Yeah, I don't even know if I've been to that truck stop in Lyman that has the Subway this year. I really don't. I don't even know if I've stopped there. I usually stop there once just so I can make a comment about it, but I don't think I've been there at all this year. We haven't been in eastern Colorado that much, which really sucks. Been a year though, I can tell you that. I tell you, that Trinidad snowstorm was something. But yeah, I remember Halloween last year. That was the day that I waxed the car. Made a big deal. I made that car look good too. I spent like all day on it too. I got up, or got down there. No, got up. Yeah, that's right. Because I was at the, I stayed at the Home 2, which is over there by the Hampton Inn, which is a really nice hotel in El Reno. It was like $80. It's always cheap. For like $80, it's a nice hotel. And, but I wanted cinnamon rolls very badly, so I changed hotels, checked out, and then went over to the Holiday Inn Express and checked in. So I wanted the cinnamon rolls. But no, they had some like pumpkin decorating contest, like that all the workers decorated a pumpkin or something like that. And the guy at the front desk made me vote. And they were all pretty terrible looking. So I had to pick one and vote for it. And he gave me 500 points for doing that, so that was nice. But no, that was the day that it was hot. It was really hot. So I went over to Walmart, I washed the car, went over to Walmart, got some wax, and I waxed the car. And it took me hours to wax the car. Yeah, and like I said, it was very hot out. I mean, it was tough. Yeah, then the next day, drove down to Midland. But 2023 was dead as a post in October. Like, I have never experienced it so dead. But 2023 was just dead. I'm not kidding. It was like 6 weeks of nothing. There were, it was 6 weeks of absolutely nothing. Except one day, one snowstorm, and that was that Dickinson, North Dakota snowstorm, and it was pathetic. I mean, it was nothing. Like, it was supposed to be feet of snow, and it turned out to be like 8 inches. It was absolutely pathetic. But that was the slowest I had ever seen it that time of year. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of rain coming to the Florida Peninsula here over the next week, but it's probably nothing that they can't handle. I mean, it's Florida, it's tropical, it rains all the time, but except for lately. Should be coming up on that Loves like within the next couple of miles. I think I see the sign. Alright, so interesting ad, or whatever you want to call it, just popped up on my chat here. Sounds like Bobby has successfully removed the food dye because Walmart is removing all artificial dyes from its store-branded food. So chalk that up for a win for Bobby. Good for him. I mean, that's kind of a good thing. Like, we really do need to get this crap out of our food. Like, there's a lot of unnecessary crap in our food. I just don't understand anything else the guy does. I really don't. Alright, here's the Loves. It's the same one I stopped at Friday morning when I got gas on the way down. It's also the same one that I stopped at on last Wednesday on my way back. Actually, no, it wasn't last Wednesday on my way back. It was the trip before that, because last Wednesday I came through Iowa. Or maybe not. Did I come? Oh, God, I don't remember which way I came back. Maybe I did come back this way. I've honestly lost track of where I've been. Like, I've just been around so much that it's kind of all blending together. All right, we're going to sit here and wait for traffic. Any day now. we go. Wasn't too bad. I've sat there forever before, it seems like. A lot of traffic over this bridge. $291. That's pretty cheap for Illinois standards. I'll tell you that. Usually this Love's is on the cheaper side. That's why I always try to make it to this one if I can. That one in Rockford is price gouged all to hell just because it's Rockford. Should be a discount because you're always afraid of getting shot. Somebody just got shot and killed in Rockford again the other day, I see. It's like, god damn, that mayor has got to do something with those damn cops and get them doing something and clean that place up. It's terrible. Like, there's no policing in that city whatsoever unless it's not very good. It's just that city is very bad. It's got to get, it's terrible. Like, it's too bad too because Rockford itself has the potential to be a really nice place. It's just there's so much crime and so many freaking hood rats. Like, they've got a lot of nice parks and nice stuff. It's just there's so much freaking crime. It's terrible, and it's gotten worse over the past like 10 years. What, you can't get pineapple on pizza in Italy? So it's like not a thing or something? Alright, well I guess I'll get fuel. I'm not gonna get windshield washer fluid here. So I'll just manually wash the window, I guess. This gas pump would hurry up though. It's like asking me 500 questions. Really need faster pumps, these Loves. They ask too much questions. Alright, hold on. I got the big windshield washer thing here. Alright, well that's good enough for now. Okay, so it's $281 with the 10-cent discount on there. So I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go in real quick. I swear, these Loves have like the most terrible bathrooms I've ever seen anymore. Like, they used to be so clean, supposedly. But they really are like absolutely disgusting anymore. Holy crap. I just think it's kind of funny because Loves has this like whole social media thing where they're all over X. We have these clean bathrooms. They're so clean. Stop here. The facilities are all clean. No, they're worse than any other gas station I've been to. They're worse than Pilot. And Pilot Flying J's are known to be pretty gross. But I'm dead serious. Like, these Loves are so disgusting. That's what took so long. So, like, I hate to be that guy, but it was so nasty. I went back to the diesel counter and I was like, hey, like, those bathrooms are so terrible. I said, I'm not even gonna like go piss in a stall. And she's like, I'll pass it along. And I was like, and then she kind of like turned away from me. I was like, no, seriously, like, it's absolutely disgusting. I'm like, somebody needs to go like do something about it. And she's like, someone will. I'm just like, whatever. As I go turn to walk away, some other guy comes out of the bathroom and comes up to the desk. He goes, hey, those bathrooms are fucking disgusting. And she's like, okay. And this guy like wasn't letting it go. He's like, no, seriously. He's like, you can't go anywhere in that bathroom without stepping on like a dirty napkin or dirty paper towel or someone's piss. Like, it was that. Oh my god. Like, that's why I laugh at these like the Loves marketing, because they market themselves as the cleanest place to stop. No, they're honest to God the dirtiest place to stop. Like, the building itself is nice and clean looking, but they just don't clean the bathrooms anymore. Like, it's horrible. Like, there was like just shit all over the, like, not shit, but like knotted up toilet paper and stuff all over, and like paper towel all over the counter. And I get all it takes is one person to go in there and wreck it, but also, like, if you're gonna sit there and market yourself as like the cleanest facility out there, then you need to pay attention to it. I mean, it's terrible. Holy crap, that one is really in rough shape. No religious or Christian topics while you're here? Well, I'm not religious, but I really don't give a flying shit what someone believes. I guess if somebody wanted to talk about going to church on Sunday, I guess I can't really tell them not to, you know? Sorry. I can tell you what's not a Christian value, even though I'm not religious and don't know what the Christian values are, but I can tell you what sure as hell ain't a Christian value is that fucking awful excuse for a bathroom in that Loves. Jesus would not be very happy of that bathroom, so he would not approve. See, a lot of people tell me that I'm one-sided with this whole like religion and free speech thing, but I'm definitely not, and I think I just proved it right there. Who has to go get their period pads? I must have missed something. What did I miss? I honestly missed whatever the period pad reference was for. Something must have happened. Yeah, so like, honest life advice, folks. One thing that I've learned, and I'm still definitely picking out more as I go along here, is unless somebody else's beliefs are like totally outrageous, it really doesn't matter. Like, if somebody wants to go to church on Sunday, they can go to church on Sunday. Like, that's really not an offensive thing. But that goes both ways. Like, as somebody who is not religious and does not go to church, And it's nothing to do with, like, I'm not a satanic person. I've been accused of that too. It's just I don't have time and I don't have interest in that, and I just don't care. Simple as that. But because I don't, you know, try to make people that do go to church, are religious, and go, you know, stuff like that, I try not to make them feel bad. So I would expect those people to not sit there and try to convert me or bring me to the light like some people have, just as much as they would expect me to let them go to church and not give a crap. So that's kind of how I see how we operate things here, you know. I got a cheeseburger roll that looks terrible. It's actually not that bad. Yeah, so I got that cheeseburger roll thing at Love's, and it looks terrible, but it's actually like the best thing I've ever had from that place. Holy crap, that thing was actually pretty good. I could have like 20 of those. That's like the first thing off of that stupid roller grill thing that they have in there that actually is kind of good. Well, I take that back. Take that back. The blueberry sausage pancake things are pretty good. As long as they're not burnt. They've got a real habit of burning those. Then they get hard. But I've got this conspiracy. Maybe conspiracy isn't the right word, but I've noticed every time I go to a Love's, well, not every time, most of the time when I go to a Love's, and they've got the those sausages with the blueberry pancake around them, if you grab the tongs and squish them, you can figure out if they're worth buying or not. You know, just squish each one, and you got to find one that's not rock hard. The majority of the time, they're rock hard. So, and it's not just like it's one Love's where it's like that. It's like all of them. So I'm guessing that whoever the manufacturer of that sausage pancake is telling them to cook it longer than they need to or something. I don't know, but they need to take a few minutes off the cook time on those, because they are oftentimes hard as a rock. Like, you could pound a damn nail in with those things. But when they're not, they're pretty good. What sucks with Love's, though, is they don't have much for warm food. Like, you go to a Quick Trip or a Wawa or a Maverick or even like a racetrack or something, like, there's like actually hot food. But like, you go to Love's and they have like one taco and like one of those stupid tornado things, and that's it. And they've both been sitting on the under the heat lamp for 4 hours. Well, you would think that a truck stop like that would have just a huge selection of hot food, but it's the opposite. Yeah, don't go to Circle K's. They are not good. They used to be, but now they're just kind of... They're just another 7-Eleven. But 7-Eleven used to be good, too. I'll tell you, though, that Pilot that we stopped at in, oh, where was that? Or not the Pilot. Not the Pilot, the Stuckey's, south of St. Augustine, 3 days ago. I can't believe that. I'm damn near to Wisconsin, and just like a day or two ago, we were in freaking Florida. But wherever that was terrible. That was just terrible. That was not a good place to stop. I will tell you what, though, I think the best, if you want just simple answer here, the best place to stop for fuel and like food and stuff in one thing honestly, out of all the places I've been to, is the Maverick that's west of North Platte. They just built it like 2 years ago. Maverick is 100%, hands down, the best fuel and convenience store, whatever place, easily. They did good with that one. Yeah, that place is great. Like, they've always got the little pizzas in there. They've got the cheeseburgers. They've got all that. Even at 2 o'clock, like I've stopped at 2 o'clock in the morning and they still have hot food out. And it's actually like not rock hard. But it's I think it's either west of Ogallala or just east of Ogallala, between there and North Platte, but it's definitely west of North Platte on 80. That one is really, really nice. But I'm telling you, these Mavericks that's the place to go. That one's great. I cannot say enough good things about that one. So, somebody asked what the best place was, and it's definitely that one. Guy's in a hurry. Trying to think of like one of the best loves that I can find that I know of, but I honestly don't know if I know of any. Oh, actually, I take that back. There's one in, I think it's Milton, Florida. That one's pretty good, which is down there by Pensacola. Oh yeah, and the one in Lubbock, Texas is pretty good too, and so is the one in Tucumcari, New Mexico. The one in Tucumcari, New Mexico used to be a dump, but then they did a remodel and it's not a dump anymore. But I tell you what though, there's an Allsups in Fort Sumner, New Mexico that is probably right up there with the top tier of Mavericks. That one is great. It's out there west of Clovis. Oh yeah, Aiden, that Loves that had the mold all over the walls, that was the one in Des Moines. It's right there. It's an old. That place is a dump. It's old. It's terrible. Yeah, we walked in there. This was back in, I think, April. It might have been March, but I'm pretty sure it was April. We walked in there and man, the first thing you saw was like black mold all over the wall. Not even joking. Now, granted, they were remodeling it at the time, but the fact that there was just like black mold all over the wall, just like totally exposed everybody, was kind of gross, I thought. Yeah, a lot of the pilots are dumps. I don't know what's going on with the truck stop industry, but they're losing, man. They're not doing good. None of them are doing good. They're all dumps. They just don't care about the customer experience anymore. Like, I guarantee you people would rather pay a few cents more in gas to offset having a better customer experience. Like, just generalized cleanliness would be great. That's where these bussies with the frickin' squirrel on the sign or whatever, the bussies are supposed to shine because they talk about, oh, the bathrooms are so clean. No, they're not. I went into one where I don't remember where it was, but I walked in there and I'm like, you're kidding me. This is what the bussie's bathroom is like. Like, there's like 6 or 7 stalls and it was dirty. I'm like, this ain't great. Love's used to be clean, guys. Before COVID, you could go into any Love's truck stop anywhere. And if you found any little bit of dirt, I mean, that was very rare. I mean, they were kept very clean. Oh yeah, you're right, I forgot about that. When we were sitting there was somebody was putting diesel in their car, and it was not a diesel car. God, that was a while ago. I think that was the day that we had the, I don't remember if that was the day of that tornado that hit one of our probes that night or not, but I can't remember. But I just remember that was a while ago. Now the diesel pumps at Love's at the regular diesel pumps fit in the little gas holes. They've only got the high flow ones at the truck pumps now. I guess they thought that people had enough common sense to see that, like, oh, hey, this is a big green handle and it says diesel on it, to not put that in their unleaded tank, but apparently not. But yeah, all the Loves now, the diesel pump, they just got the regular low flow, small pumps on them. I mean, I know there's some cars that run like some of the Volkswagens and stuff, but this was not. This was like a Ford Focus or something that was definitely not diesel. In fact, that was the last time that I was at that Love's. I don't think I'll go back there again after, like, that grossed me out, seeing all that mold and stuff. It's like, ew. I will tell you though, that Bussies in Amarillo is pretty decent. I mean, if anybody doesn't like being around people, I would suggest staying away from it because it's packed. They almost need 2 in Amarillo. They need like 1 east and 1 west of town. It's amazing how much traffic that place has. And then you've got the you got the Loves up here at the 111, which is like the Illinois 72 exit to go to like Byron. And they just built this one. So they just built this one coming up, and then they just built that one in Rockford within the past like 2.5 to 3 years. And this one is actually not that bad. But you'll be strapped to find a fuel pump that works. Like, I don't know what it is with it, but I've been here like probably 3 times this year at this one up here at the like Byron exit. I've been there like 3 times this year, and every time that I've been there, like half of the pumps are turned off. I have no idea why. But that one's pretty clean, but it's also new, and it seems like when they pop up a new one, they're pretty clean. The one in Rockford is terrible. Like, you go in there and like somebody is, and you know what? Somebody's gonna be like, that's not the Loves' fault. That's some nasty person's fault, and you're correct. But it's also their job to clean it. Like, last time I was in there, some guy literally just like pissed all over the floor. Like, totally missed the toilet, peed on the floor. It was like a lake. It was disgusting. It's like, I turned around and walked out. Like, I'll just hold it. But it's also Rockford, so I'm sure they get a bunch of crackheads, which is too bad. But that was an underserved area. They needed that there. And then they need to put one up in Madison. Because between Rockford and, is it Oakdale or Oakfield, whatever it is, which is like up by the Dells, between Rockford and almost the Wisconsin Dells, there's nothing. Other than a TA, there's a TA in Janesville. But to get to the TA, you got to get off of the highway and you got to go through like 2 or 3 stoplights. Like, I can't imagine any truck driver would want to put it, like, it's not very accessible for trucks, in my opinion. Plus it's a TA. There's a TA up there on the northeast side of Madison. I don't know if I think it's technically DeForest, but it might be Windsor. But there's a TA up there, and it's really nasty. Like, I mean, it's really nasty. So you've got basically nothing from Rockford all the way up there. I mean, that's a good solid damn near 100 miles. Like, I'm surprised there's not a Loves in Madison. Honestly. There's a couple of Quick Trips with a K up there, but even like the Quick Trip truck stops, like, they're just not accessible for trucks. I mean, you got to go through like a roundabout and a stoplight. Like, there's just no easy on, easy off. I've been to that, probably, I think I've probably been to that Loves by Asheville then, unless there's more than one. I think they are building a Bussies off 94, but somebody said it was put on hold, I think. I don't know, Bussies is not a good, like, I wish they would have put an actual, like, Loves or something up there, because Bussies, they won't let semis on their parking lot. Like, they don't have truck diesel or anything, and they've got signs all over, like, no trucks. So, like, they don't even want the truck drivers stopping there for lunch, which is kind of shitty. So, like, I think that area would be better served by, like, an actual, you know, someone that's actually equipped to handle truck traffic. I don't think I've been to the one in Fredericktown, Missouri. Maybe I have. Well, oh, hold on a second. Let me, I gotta look at a map. Where the hell's Fredericktown? Isn't, I might know where that is. Hold on, I might have been to that one. Let me type it in. So I think I might know which one you're talking about. It is pretty nice. Yeah, that one. Okay, yeah, I've been to that one. That one is pretty nice. They're opening one on I-10 in Arizona. But yeah, they're opening a lot. They just opened one in Big Spring, Texas, which I don't really know why they put one there. Seemed like kind of a weird place for one, but they're popping up all over the place now. Yeah, they put one in Big Spring, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because there's one in Sweetwater. Or right around, it's either, or is that in Abilene? It's between Sweetwater and Abilene. I think it's closer to yeah, no, it is in Sweetwater. Or no, is it Abilene? Son of a gun. Anyway, there's a Love's right up the road, and then there's a Love's in Midland. But it's busy as hell. Like, I guess I can see why they put one there, but once you get through Midland, you got one. I think there's one down in Pecos. Isn't there one in Pecos? Or Alpine? I don't know. It just seemed like a weird place to put one. Because there's a lot of other places that could use one, like up in the Dakotas. There's a lot of places on I-90 and I-94 that could use one up in the Dakotas. I've never been to enough sheets to have an opinion. Typically the only time I've been to a sheets has been like Pennsylvania, so I don't really have an opinion. Haven't been there enough. Yeah, Casey's is too hit or miss. Overall, they suck, but there's a couple good ones out there. The one in Kearney, Nebraska is really good. The one in Byron, Illinois is good. There's one in, is it Liberal? I think it's Liberal. It's either Liberal or Syracuse. Whatever. Southwest. There's one. Garden. No, it's Garden City. There's one in the north side of Garden City that's really good. But they're so hit or miss. Oh yeah, the one in McCook, Nebraska is good. The one in the middle, not the two on the sides, because there's 3 of them. But Casey's is so hit or miss. Like, I don't think they have like a corporate standard that you have to meet. I think it's just like, hey, open a Casey's, and they're pretty hit or miss, and they can be pretty bad. No, Roger, I don't go to New York very much past Buffalo. Like maybe once or twice in the past 10 years. Oh yeah, that Loves, I think it's Lake City. No, not Lake City. Oh god, I gotta look now. Lakeland. That Loves that's in Lakeland, Florida, or right around there between Orlando and Tampa. That one's pretty good. All right, folks. Well, it's first stream of the year, or the month. It'll be the first stream of the year before too long. I mean, hell, we're not far away. Hard to believe. Two more months. Alright, folks, we'll probably start putting this away. Alright, well, we got the first stream of the month out of the way. September seemed like it took a long time, though. I don't remember what the first chase was. I don't even... We really weren't out that much in September, honestly. Which is kind of unusual. But I think we'll start wrapping this up. I'm going to have... Once I get home, I've got some video clips and stuff I'll put together from when we were out. We'll put them on Facebook, I guess. And I'll put some more information out on Facebook, but I haven't really been able to sit down and do an update for anything. I mean, the past couple of days have just been a little bit ridiculous. Even though we haven't really had a whole lot happen, there's just been a lot of driving. And if you have to drive 8 to 10 hours a day and then go to bed for 6 hours a day, I mean, it starts eating up your day pretty fast, and you don't have a whole lot of time left to do anything. So I haven't really been able to sit down and do anything, get anything done for... Well, we had that one day when we were at the hotel in Atlanta there, but even that ended up getting a little bit busy, so we just didn't have a whole lot of time. So I mean, I had a couple hours on, I think it was Saturday, but other than that, I haven't really had any time to get anything done. So I got to sit down and catch up. But thanks for following along. I guess this is the last stream of our deployment mission, even though we're long past that, but I mean, it's been the same trip. So I appreciate everybody who rode along for it, and of course watched the live streams. I think doing those live streams where we do the live updates and stuff and look at models, I think that was productive. So we'll do more of that. But I'll try to be back tomorrow. Maybe I'll live stream filling that crack in the windshield, or that chip in the windshield. I don't know, but I'm not entirely sure. There's a potential that I might have to turn around and leave again too, you know. I mean, we might have to turn around and leave and go back out this weekend. I don't know how likely that is, though. I don't think it's super likely. So, alright folks, thanks for watching. That'll be it, and I will be back either tomorrow or Friday.